EA has completely changed the best recruiting strategy for College Football 25 in today's update, and I ran an experiment to prove it. I'm first going to show you the single sentence in their patch notes that completely changed the game, the data to back it up, and how to adjust so you're still able to land an awesome recruiting class regardless of what university you're using. So first, let's start with that one sentence. This one simple sentence hidden in the patch notes simply says that they're going to reduce the amount of 4 and 5-star athletes that go unrecruited early in the season. And whether or not you knew about that, that was 100% the best way to recruit before this update. In 2 different videos, I used Kennesaw State and started a brand new dynasty with a level 1 coach and was able to land top 25 recruiting classes just by starting off by recruiting the 4 and 5-star players that nobody else had offered. In fact, this is where the experiment comes in. What you're seeing right now is a graph of the number of 4-star recruits that had 0 scholarship offers for every single week of the season. And not only did I do it for 1 season, but I did it for 2 seasons before the update. So for both of them, they started around 75 to 80 recruits, and then they'll slowly drop to anywhere from 15 to 25. But you got to remember how important that number is. That means that at the start of the season before this update, there would be anywhere from 70 to 80 4-star prospects that nobody had offered a scholarship to. So usually what me and other people would do is we would go and find any of them that we were eligible to recruit as, and then immediately offer them scholarships, run away with them, and have them come to our school. And it wasn't just something you could do at big schools, you could do them at small schools too. Because a little school like Kennesaw State, while they may not get those 4-stars who really care about championship contenders or pro potentials, there are plenty of 4-stars that care about playing time, and we were getting all of those guys at Kennesaw State. So if there were over 70 4-star recruits to start the season that anybody could just go and pick from, what does it look like now? Well, it took an extra hour to do, but now you are seeing that red line, which is the new version after the update. So for all 3 of these experiments, I was just Air Force, and I just kind of counted every single week. Yes, it took exactly as long as you think it took, but it's super important to note that that red line starts so much lower early in the season. That means rather than having like 80 4-star recruits that are just sitting there unoffered, it's closer to like 30. And of those 30, you're probably only going to be able to recruit like 4 or 5, maybe 6 based off your deal breakers. So while you may still find 1 or 2 4-star prospects that don't have any offers and that care about something that your school can provide them, I don't think it's going to be the same strategy as I've been able to do in the past, where I've been able to land 10 4-star prospects at Kennesaw State simply by finding people that nobody else wanted. So with the strategy of simply adding all the forgotten 4-stars out of the way, how can you recruit well with the new patch? Well, to answer that, we got to go back to that sentence, because it specifically says it reduced the number of unrecruited 4 and 5 stars. It didn't say anything about 3 stars, because this whole find the unwanted players strategy did work for 4 stars, but usually you would supplement that by finding other 3 stars in the same boat and doing the same thing. Now, if I were to count how many 3 stars didn't get any scholarship offers for 3 seasons for every week, I would not be able to post this video for a month. So I can't do that. But what I can tell you is I do expect there still to be no shortage whatsoever of 3-star prospects early in the season that don't have any offers. You still may be able to find quantity by going to the 3 stars and finding players that have 0 scholarship offers. Okay, well, if recruiting classes are about quality and quantity, we got quantity figured out, but how do you get the big fish to come to little Kennesaw State? Well, to answer that, we'll actually go to the next line in the patch note, where they said they increased the number of players that the AI teams will pursue throughout the year. And in the dev note just below that, they explain the reason why is that they want the AIs to be less aggressive when they're recruiting players. Because I don't know if you've ever been in a recruiting battle with Georgia, but you are never going to beat them. So this is how I think you're going to be able to find quality. See, before the patch, when I would find a 4-star that didn't have any offers, I would throw as many recruiting hours as possible, but I would give up entirely if any other school joined in the race. Because they were so aggressive that it made no sense to waste 40 hours a week on this guy, even though we built up a lead, because Georgia will take them. Now, I don't think that'll be the case. Rather than trying to find 4 and 5-star players that don't have any offers, I do think it's time to really recruit the way that the game wants you to, which is to use your strengths to your advantage. In other words, if you really want to land a 5-star or a bunch of 4-stars, the best way to do that is to make sure that you're looking at players in your pipeline that are close to you or that really care about playing time, especially if you're a bad school. For those guys, you may actually be able to get in some recruiting battles and win now because those AI teams teams are going to be spreading their hours out a little bit more thin, and they may not be able to dominate every single play. So when you're looking for elite players to add to your recruiting board, if you find somebody you're interested in, even if they have an offer from somebody else, what I would start to look at is what was the influence gain from that team from the previous week. So when you look at those graphs of influence, what you should look at is what does a team look like that didn't do anything for a player versus the best team for that recruit. Because that team at 4th or 5th that really didn't gain anything in influence, that really means that they're not recruiting that guy at all. But the top team, who probably has an offer to that elite prospect, is recruiting them. So you got to ask yourself, is that jump that that first team is making over everybody else, is that too big of a jump for you to get in there? Or are they barely making any progress? And if so, they're probably only sending like 5 or 10 hours a week to that elite prospect. You may be able to jump in, throw them a scholarship offer, and send the house and steal that player. But honestly, I don't know. This patch has only been out for a few hours, and honestly, those few hours for me have been spent making this video for you. So tonight, I am going to run through a full season of recruiting, test these strategies, and come back to this YouTube channel tomorrow and see if it works. So if you're watching this right now and you want to see the concrete way to still land a top 25 class after this patch, go to this YouTube channel that you're watching right now. I think my video on this will be up. If not, I'm very sorry, especially if you made it this far to the video, but I think I'm going to get it up there. That's all I got for recruiting. Hopefully this was helpful. See ya.